Ole'Pops here. I'm out today with my mini-me. Gracie's with me. I'm smoking my billiard acorn, my Ole'Pops billiard acorn. Being the vanilla bean that I am, I got some BCA and 1Q in it. I'm at Evergreen Cemetery. I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about the Evergreen Cemetery and a little bit about the Oakland Plantation and Mansion. First thing we're going to do is we're going to visit the Oakland Plantation and Mansion. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. Then we're going to come on back here and talk about this. Y'all hang tight and we'll be right back. This is the Oakland Mansion Plantation. It's part of the National Registry of Historic Places. It was caught in the middle of the Civil War, and at different times it was occupied by both Union and Confederate troops. One of its most notable visitors was Confederate President Jefferson Davis in December of 1962. It was bought in 1958 by the city of Murfreesboro and the Oakland Association. It was acquired then for restoration. It was originally built in 1818 by Dr. James Manny and his wife, Sally Hardy Murphy Manny. She was the daughter of General Hardy Murphy of the Revolutionary War, the namesake of Murfreesboro. Together they had 8 children, and at the time that it was built, 249 slaves served on site. In 1857, Sally died, and Doc Jim gave the home to his son, Major Lewis Manny, and his wife, Rachel Adeline Cannon, the daughter of the first Whig governor of the state of Tennessee, Newton Cannon. In 1882, Lewis died, and Rachel sold the house. And it was vandalized and sold and resold and vandalized up until 1954, when plans were made to demolish it. Then, like I said, in 1958, the city of Murfreesboro and the Oakland Association acquired it for restoration. Sitting about 200 yards to the right-hand side of the main building, or the main house, is this one-room slave shack. I say shack, it's made out of brick, and it's really quite spacious, very high ceilings. But this is where the house servant lived, with her husband and children. It's very comfortable, very nice little house. The remainder of the slave quarters were down towards the creek. Right up there is the house. Now that you know a little something about Evergreen, standing right here where I'm at, the mansion, the Oakland Mansion, sits right over there from here. The Evergreen Cemetery began as a slave cemetery, a burial ground for the slaves that died for that mansion. in the mid-1800s. Dr. Manny sold about 20 acres to the city in mid-1800s. I'm sorry, in 1872. And it encompassed that slave burial ground. And it said that you can hear wails and moans coming from this area of the graveyard. And I'm going to turn the camera around here in a minute and show you some of these stones and some of these markers, and you can see how old they are. And these are quite expensive markers, so these were some of the more prominent people. The slave markers are up next to the fence. There are some that are metal markers. There are some that are hidden markers. There are some that you're not going to be able to see anymore. But we've got a couple of stories that go along with this graveyard that y'all gonna want to know about, and I'm gonna tell you about them. Eventually the graveyard grew to 90 acres, and there's a new part over there in that direction, about, I'd say about 500 yards away. And it's quite a capsule of Tennessee history. It's got notables like former Tennessee Governor John Buchanan, a Confederate General Joseph B. Palmer, an ex-NFL head coach Ken Shipp. But we're going to look at a couple of things here in just a second, and I'm going to tell you a couple of stories that might make the wheelies come up on you. So, y'all stick around. Her name is Nama Collier. She died in 1886, November the 4th, 1886. The face on the headstone, or on the angel, the face was carved to look like Nama, to be in her image. Back behind Nama, underneath this beautiful magnolia tree, is another beautiful image of Martha Collier, that died in October of 1884.
She?
They both died of cholera. Martha was 14 when she died. Nama was 16 when she died. Their tombstones were bought for them later, after both of them had been buried. Seems as though Nama's stone, or their monument, was put on Martha's grave, and Martha's tombstone was put on Nama's grave. And ever since that mistake took place, there are two little white spirits, two little white girls that can be seen wandering the cemetery at night. Nobody knows why. Nobody really understands the purpose of it. They don't seem to be vengeful. They don't seem to be vindictive. They haven't ever tried to hurt anybody. But they wander around these two monuments. Maybe it's because of the mistake that was made in placing of the stones. Kind of odd, but they're here. That marker belongs to a Confederate veteran and sympathizer, politician James Richardson. He died November the 13th, 1872. He was buried with all of the pomp and circumstances befitting a sovereign commander of the Scottish Rite Masons of the Southern jurisdiction. He received a Knight Templar Kadash ceremony from the Masons with more than 1,200 people attending. 9 4-foot candlesticks lit up his grave site as lightning filled the sky. During his interment, it rained so hard that the mud was flowing into his grave, and the rain was filling his grave faster than they could get poor old James buried. We're fixing to get some rain right now. But they say that on nights when it rains and it's lightning, you can see the ghost of James out here stomping, mad as all get out, because of the way they buried him. No peace, no rest for the weary. Rest in peace, James Richardson. Rest in peace. Evergreen Cemetery. It's been here a long time. It's been here a long, long time. There's graves dating here way back, way, way back. You come in here at night and hear all kinds of spooky noises, see all kinds of spooky sights. Gracie can come in here and just cry and cry. She never knew any of these people. Never met any of these people in her life. I know she's empathic. I know she's got a lot of empathy in her heart, but the sense of remorse that you feel in a place like this is just catastrophic, but the sense of lost spirits that you feel in a place like this is just devastating. I wish you could get a good sense of just how far this place really goes. It goes forever. And it's just so old. But that's our Evergreen cemetery.